Kyle Lacy from Docebo. As a veteran CMO who has scaled one and written books across the B2B tech landscape, I want to keep your segment hyper-focused on your core operating principles. Here are 2 prompts I'd love for you to answer back to back. Ready?
Ready.
Kyle, when AI clones software features faster than teams can build them, feature differentiation dies. How do marketing leaders defend the business value of brand, and why is building trust still strictly a human job?
I think building trust being a human job relates to why people buy to begin with. You and I both know that in the software world, even before product and engineering had these AI capabilities where they can ship more often, which is what we're dealing with now, a feature set wasn't really what was going to sell it for you. It doesn't matter. Like, we can go back to the Siebel Salesforce days where feature sets were not what ultimately led to the massive uprising of Salesforce as a piece of software outside of the cloud, no cloud type methodology, right? Or at least how we were talking about it.
Yeah.
I think for me, trust is built through the eyes of the customer. So the more truth and identity you can create with the customer base, the customer is your best salesperson. So for me, marketing is taking more ownership over that customer relationship, not the CSM role, but how do we tell the customer story in a meaningful way? And that's where narrative is so important. Narrative's always been important. And I think that marketing has consistently tried to map and track pipeline production because we couldn't explain brand and narrative ROI. We still can't.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. I'm sure there's plenty of examples where people have done it, but it's still really hard to do.
Yeah.
And you don't want to get in an attribution game anymore. So for me, it's how do you make sure you are telling the customer story in a meaningful way? Because that's the only differentiator you have anymore, is how do you surprise and delight customers? And the only thing that makes a marketer relevant is our ability to tell that story in a meaningful way. If you can't tell that story, you're screwed. And if you just pump out features all day long, it's not going to matter anyway.
Because everyone else can.
I think that for me, we have had to tell the story about pipeline because it got us a seat at the table. And now we're being cornered on whether or not brand is worthy enough to keep our seat at the table. And it is. It's just a matter of how you present it. And that's hard. And that's not easy.
Right. And this still isn't something that you've handed off to some AI workflow at this point. It's still something that needs to be hands-on and done by a human.
Let's be honest. Taste, creativity, and EQ is a very human thing.
Yep.
And the only competitive differentiator that anybody has when we all have the same AI tooling is the human. And until I can be convinced that a robot can manufacture taste and creativity the same as a human, that's always going to be the differentiator. I'm going to retire very quickly if it comes to the point where robots are doing a lot of this stuff, because it's
that deserted island you're going to find yourself on it pretty soon. You're going to want to be there.
I think that taste, creativity, compassion is a very human trait that is going to take a lot of time and energy for AI to really replicate in a meaningful way.
Thank you so much for that answer, Kyle. I think that a lot of people are going to be happy to hear that from someone like you.
I'm still pro-human, even though I have a lot of robots as friends.
All right, Kyle, this next one is an AI pipeline spotlight question that I wanted to ask you. So, Kyle, enterprise data shows buyers lie to human reps to manage perception, but are brutally honest with website AI about budgets and competitors. How do go-to-market leaders rewrite their pipeline playbooks to capitalize on this unfiltered data?
I struggle with the word rewrite. I haven't found it to be a rewriting of anything. It's just another channel where you have to produce content for it in order for it to be seen. The difference is that it's robots searching for things before the human. That's an outstanding question for a lot of marketing teams, is how does the website transition when there are more robots hitting it than humans, which will be the case for the foreseeable future, right? And it will only continue to grow. We are running adjusted playbooks, but we're not rewriting anything. We might be focusing on different places like Reddit, YouTube than we were like our blog, but it's the same concept.
Yeah.
So I struggle with this whole talk track of it's a massive paradigm shift. We need to retool everything because you don't. And it's the same thing. So for me, it's another tool in our arsenal to be able to reach the people we really want to reach in order to buy our software. So you might have a different skill set of person you need to hire for that understands it. It's another arrow in my quiver to reach people.
So it's not we need to rewrite it all completely. Everyone, alarms are sounding.
I mean, alarms always sound with massive change, but I'm not treating this as I think it goes back to your first question as well, man. Am I building a bunch of AI to replace the human beings on my team? No, I'm not. They're augmenting them. Mm-hmm. And AEO, AI search, robots hitting the website, it's just an augmentation of the buying cycle that has always existed. It could be seen as short-sighted in a couple of years, but it doesn't mean we're ignoring it. It just means we're not inflating it.
Yeah.
To where it's deprioritizing things that matter. But it is something that's changing the way people buy for sure.
Another way to think about it also, I took this from one of your LinkedIn posts. If I'm not talking to a human, I am much more direct about what I'm saying. You're not being judged when you're talking to an AI bot, right? And you're just being much more straightforward. You're chatting with someone on the website and you're asking the question, you're getting one of your sales reps that's replying to it. But if it's an AI chatbot, you're talking to an AI and you're being just much more straightforward. Like, here's my problem. Here's my budget.
It depends on what you're selling. If I was CMO of a company that had a PLG motion where it was immediate, then yeah, I would probably be switching a lot of my thinking, but I'm still in an enterprise buying process. Yep. So it's not, are we adjusting the way we take in information and how that information helps reps sell a deal? Yeah. But, it's just another data point.
Okay.
And we're going to, as long as those tools meet our expectations in terms of our experimentation of them, the conversion rate of those conversations, then we'll continue to explore them.
Yep, to use them.
And I think that this is the first time in my career where I feel like chat is actually working the way it should because the systems are better. And that's a good thing.
Seeing companies like Intercom actually, it's fun because we've all used them for so long, all these different variations of it, and seeing them from a user standpoint grow and actually be like, oh, wow, this is really improving and delivering on what they said they would deliver, I think is really, it's kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
That everything is moving forward as
for sure.
Awesome, Kyle. Those are the two main questions. I had two very small ones just to wrap up here.
Okay.
Who's someone that you really admire out in the kind of on the internet space and the LinkedIn space that you think more people should know about?
Okay, give me a second to think about this.
Like maybe someone who really influences the work that you do.
The two people that really influence a lot of the work I do are on the marketing leadership team. And I think that they deserve more attention.
Yeah.
Sylvia Valencia is our VP of revenue marketing, and she's one of the best revenue marketers I've ever worked with. Ben Battaglia is our VP of product marketing, who I've worked with in the past, but he also leads customer marketing. Mark Huber.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Mark Huber's one. And then, you're thinking Mark Hasselglow, who's our CRO at Docebo.
He
doesn't need more people.
Penn State guy.
Yeah, so he joined a year ago. So him and I but he doesn't need more followers.
No, he's good. He's good. He can fill Beaver Stadium with his followers.
Yes, he could. One of my first bosses who has taught me a lot about brand is a guy named Daniel Incandela, who's also a good follow. And then there's a guy named Joe Staples, who is CMO at Interactive Intelligence and pretty much the best human being I know.
Maybe also?
Oh, yeah.
So we got Sylvia Valencia, Ben Battaglia, Mark Huber, Daniel Incandela, and Joe Staples. Those are some pretty good follows. I think those are good people to tag into this one and have more eyeballs on them. Thank you so much for those. Very last one. Where do you hang out? What are some of the communities that you're a part of that you would suggest for marketing folks?
I'm a huge supporter of Pavilion, which used to be called Revenue Collective. And that's usually from a peer-based perspective. That's usually where I'm spending the majority of my time.
Had Kathleen Booth on.
Yep. So that's where I spend a lot of my time. The other group that I've found helpful and is the Winning by Design team. They have their own mini community around their events.
Well, Kyle Lacy, I thought this was going to be a good one. I was right. Thank you so much for answering our deserted island question, our brand strategy spotlights, our AI pipeline spotlights, and a couple shout outs for people. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.